Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwartner. Welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the great pleasure of meeting with Ken Valler, who's co-founder and president of the Valler Group. Welcome, Ken.
Hey, Gerhard, welcome. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So one of your offerings is you're teaching sales leaders and salespeople how to make executive calls. What is your perspective on calling on the C-suite?
I kind of go back to what customers and sales executives have said to me. So sales executives said to me about their sellers. And what they say, Gerhard, is every time I talk to a VP of sales or a CRO, he or she is saying, well, we need our people to get to the executive level. A lot of sales leaders seem to think, well, there's this kind of magic bullet. If we could just get our people to the executive level, we'd find more deals or we'd win more deals. And I'm not suggesting that's absolutely wrong. What I'm suggesting is it's probably not sufficient. It depends. Well, it depends on, well, what's your account strategy? And how does who's the executive you're trying to get to? And why you're trying to meet with them in the context of your account strategy. To us at the Valler Group, we don't think about executive calling in a box. We think about it as, you know what, there's executive calling in the context of your broader strategies. If we can understand that first, then we're able to help you formulate your plan to say, okay, who do you want to get to? Why do you want to get to them? What purpose will it serve? That's number one. Number two, Gerhard, one of the other things we find is that, look, when you're calling on an executive, there's calling on them inside the buy-sell process, and there's calling on them, outside the buy-sell process. So those are some things that we're seeing out there and things that we're also addressing with our customers in terms of our point of view.
What are some of the challenges that salespeople need to be prepared for?
Salespeople tend to default to talking about their stuff. We just always want to talk about our products or services. And frankly, most executives, if not all, really don't care. They've got people on their teams that deal with that at the solution level. They want to talk about business strategy. They want to talk about business challenges. They want you to bring them insight or perspective, shape their thinking, but rather maybe it's insight just in terms of a core example of how you've helped another organization work through a transition or work through some sort of transformation. And maybe here's some of the things that we learned along the journey that we think if you knew would enable you to be more successful in your journey. What did you learn that you can pass on to us that frankly our competitors aren't paying attention to, or maybe we're not paying attention to? So as a consultant to us, you're going to help us think about it. That's the type of value they're looking for. And they want that early on in conversations, and most sellers aren't prepared to do that.
Is there any advice you can give younger salespeople when they call on top executives as to tactical decisions, when to follow the executive's conversation roadmap, if you will, and when to lead the conversation?
Given a choice between calling on an executive first or calling on somebody inside that organization that knows that executive, I'm calling on the second. I'm doing the latter every time. I'm calling on that second person first. Why? Because that's where you're going to start to find information about the person that will help you to be prepared. Number two, when they show up, doing your research helps you essentially determine, okay, where is this organization going that this executive works within? And what is their go-to-market strategy? So the ability of a seller very early, but succinctly, being able to call out 4 to 6 key things that tell a little bit of a story about their understanding of that customer's business. Gerhard, that sets the platform for a broader business dialogue.
Can you put me in your classroom where you teach salespeople those key concepts? What would I be learning from you?
Like, what's the information I'm really trying to find that's going to help me prepare and maximize that opportunity when I'm in front of that executive? So that's number one. Number two is then we help them to critically think through, well, what's the implication of what's going on in their business to how they operate as an organization? What's the implication of their strategies, their competitiveness, to their processes, whatever it might be? And then I need to be prepared to share something of value. What we want to do is we want to have relationships with these executives. So we call it the executive journey. And we get sellers to start to think about, where am I entering? So again, am I inside or outside the buy-sell process? Why am I entering? Like, why am I meeting with this person? Like, what am I trying to accomplish in this meeting? Because this isn't even the right time to be meeting with this executive. But once I'm there, how do I pave the way? How do I set myself up for success? So if you're bringing them value, you're stimulating their thinking, they're going to want to meet with you again. They're going to be interested in that.
Could you share a couple of success stories of companies you have helped in the past and what the outcome was?
A couple of months ago, we're doing work with an organization around executive calling. We took them through a couple modules of our content that focused on just getting access, preparing for, and then conducting executive conversations, the way that we've been talking about it here, Gerhard, in this interview. And one of the sellers came back to us within a week after the session and said, I just got 2 meetings from 2 different companies set up with executives. Now, these are 2 of the biggest companies in the world. And he had been trying to get in the door there for months and said, my approach was just off base. They weren't hearing me.
Well, how can people get in touch with your organization?
A couple of things. Our website is www.thevalagroup.com. They can reach out to myself, Ken Valla, ken@thevalagroup.com. They can follow us on LinkedIn. We have a LinkedIn page. They should follow us. We push a lot of content out, which I think is relevant. And I just say, hey, send me an email. Would love to connect with you. If you're listening to this and you're thinking about executive calling for your salespeople, regardless of your role, and you want to talk about executive calling, please give us a shout. I have an old colleague of mine that used to say there's an unlimited market for free consulting. So it doesn't cost you anything to give us a call and have a conversation. Would love to engage with you.